I've moved back to the United States quite a few times now, but this time it feels different. It's not necessarily in a bad way, but living abroad has changed the way that I look at life and what I want moving forward. I came back to the United States with goals in mind. I've been thinking about stability, ownership, business, and just building a life that can sustain me long term, as well as provide me with the flexibility that I really want. And to be honest with you, I've always had this mindset, but the environment that I was in did not require this type of structure. So I was moving like a snail, if you will, with getting certain things done. And that can just no longer be the case if I want to be aligned with my goals. When you leave the United States and you build a life somewhere else for years, your perspective changes. And I think that's what I've been sitting with the most since coming back. A lot of things that used to make sense to me, they don't make sense anymore. One thing that I've realized is that I can't come home and expect certain parts of my life to feel normal or familiar. While I'm abroad living my best life or building, my life somewhere else, everything else is changing and I can't see it. I can only see my progress and my growth. With that being said, family dynamics change, relationships change, and the support system that you think you have may not be what it used to be for whatever reason. And it will be difficult or hard for you to process, but the same way that you had to adapt abroad, it's the same way that you'll have to adapt at home. Living abroad has caused me to think about stability in a way of being financially stable, being mentally stable, and just figuring out how I'm going to maneuver this new way of life without the usual support that I'm used to having. I'm not saying this from a bitter place either. I'm just saying time, distance, and life experiences change people. And at this point in my life, I'm looking at things more realistically than I did before. Before coming back to the States, I knew that I needed to structure my business the correct way. And now that I'm here, I am more so hyper focused on doing that. Now, don't get me wrong, I still took my business seriously. It's just that I want to make sure that everything is set up the correct way and that it makes sense for what I'm actually trying to do with my business in the future. I don't want to build something that only works in one place. I want something that's going to give me access, flexibility, and the ability to move between countries without having to restart my life every single time. Even going to the college recently felt different to me. My senior year at the university, I ran out of financial aid, and so I wasn't able to finish school. Going in that environment brought up a lot for me mentally. I was excited. I was nervous. I just had a series of emotions when I was there because it's always been in the back of my mind to finish. I'll be honest with you and tell you that I wasn't trying to run to get my degree because doors have been open for me with some college experience that required a degree, but because I had training, and I think that's what it was. I had experience, or I showed that I was trainable. I was able to get certain jobs. And so, um, in general, my perspective has changed because I can see where having a degree will push me forward in the long run. I am in the business of investing in myself, investing in my time, my energy, and my mental when it comes to building a better life for me and my family. And so by having this degree is no longer about, oh, I just finished school. It's about building the lifestyle that I'm after. I think living abroad changes you in ways you fully don't recognize until you come back home. You see things differently because your perspective has expanded since you've been away, and things don't feel the same as they used to before. And that's hard to explain if you've never lived this lifestyle before or experienced it. Spending years outside of the US has given me more time to reflect on the life I truly want for my kids and myself. I've always been a forward thinker, but living this lifestyle has taught me that I need to be more intentional about the planning of my life. A lot of the decisions that I am making is based on foundation and alignment, because I don't want to constantly have to rebuild my business or rebuild my life every time I decide to transition to a new place. And let me be clear with this. I don't think one place is better than the other necessarily. I just think that different places pull different things out of you depending on the season that you're in. A lot of these realizations came from the day to day experience of building a life outside of the US. If you want to see what life was like for us in Egypt, then take a look at these two videos on the screen.